Hello and welcome back to Darren and Doing. I'm Hester and I'm joined by Ben Bowman. Fucking hell, let me do that again.
Fuck you, whoa. Leave that
sorry.
in.
I'm sorry.
Leave that in.
I'm joking. The brilliant.
Ben Bowman.
The beautiful. The best.
The
Ben Bowman, mate.
The
How
big.
you doing?
Good thanks, mate. I'm not that full of myself to make you really do that again, but...
No, it felt wrong, mate.
Yeah,
it felt like morally fucking...
Yeah, just I'm sure the people stood up and took notice at home as well.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm not. Maybe I fell off. Maybe I'm not brilliant anymore.
Nah. Don't listen to me, mate. I put my hands up. I raised my hands up. Said I'm sorry.
I made a mistake. A general
mistake. I don't really want to talk about Spurs, mate.
Nah, not really.
Nah.
No,
because I mean we were pretty positive last pod. Obviously since the last pod we've had King Charles comes to the stadium.
Yep.
For American football.
That's crazy.
Maddison. What else did we have? We had I had an anniversary of Julia, 3rd year anniversary. She's got to be FIFA, the new FIFA.
Come on,
buzzing, mate. What a gift. That was such a good gift.
Will Hester Spurs career mode?
Yeah, of course, mate.
Our new manager.
Yeah, exactly. Who have I signed? Arda Güler on loan.
Oh yeah.
Semenyo. I'm team Semenyo now. Fucking Buemo.
Yeah. I tried to on you can on the new career mode you can do like live start points, so you can just come in from.
Yeah. What's the point?
I tried to do it. I was just like, you know what? I'm going to try and win Tottenham Europa League and turn this season around. I went to play it the other night. And it's like we had Danso. They'd done like Danso to Spurs, and Kinski. They hadn't done Tell.
No, I know.
But then you can't. I tried to do the club transfer to bring Tell to Spurs. Just do it. But then when you do the live transfers, it does it with the update, like the latest downloaded squad. Yeah. So I just couldn't even fucking play with him. I just thought, what's the point?
I tried to get Vuskovic, mate. He's on loan. You can't approach him when he's on loan. So I've got to wait another season to just like put that wonder kid in at the back. So I'll just But I'm gonna try and turn it around, see if I can do what Postecoglou is struggling to do.
Yeah.
But
we've got injuries, mate.
We've do you know what? We'll talk about the quotes. We're gonna talk about the quotes from what Postecoglou said, because I actually, when it's like right when I'm out, he just fucking reels me back in, mate. He's such a good communicator.
Yeah,
he is. So we'll get into that anyways. What else happened? Donnelly. Jamie Donnelly needs his flowers before we get into anything else. Jamie Donnelly, unbelievable.
The best own goal ever.
Best own goal ever, yeah. It's hard, like, do you know what I mean? It's hard trying to find positives at the moment after the last couple of games, and I mean, I don't even want to touch on the games, to be honest, because who wants to listen to like what happened? Obviously, you know what's happened. We've lost to Liverpool, lost to Villa. We're out of 2 cups, and obviously the cup competitions were our focus this season, because we know the league's the league. We're not doing anything in that, sort of like limping through. Yeah. Now it's just the Europa League. Now that's our
full focus.
Full focus on the Europa League.
Spurs would say the tweet would our attention turns to the Europa League.
Yeah, literally, it's the only thing we can be attentive to. But do you know what? Another interesting story before we start getting into things.
Yeah.
I just want to run by you. Harry Kane's buyback clause in next January.
Yeah.
Does he come back?
No. Yeah, well, mate, I'm doubling down on my Solanke as a better fit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's an interesting one, isn't it? Like, I was trying to work this out last week in terms of where he would go, because so it goes down to what, 54 mil in January next year? Is that right?
That's quite a good. I know he's like 33, but that's quite tempting.
Because he only needs 15 goals across like 3 seasons, or like 2 25-goal seasons to basically break the record. The thing is, though, right, is there any point in him coming back trying to break the record while Haaland's got a 9-year contract at Man City?
No. It will be like for 2 seasons. Yeah, but just to say that he was the Premier League goal scorer.
Yeah, he deserves it. He deserves to be, really. I don't know. Do you think could you honestly ever see him coming back to Tottenham?
I just think like his leaving video was weird, and I'm still holding on to that. Of like when he was like, "Look, this ain't goodbye. Never say goodbye." Like
you never know.
He was quite brief. Yeah. But like, I don't know. Who fuck knows? If maybe he could come to the Championship top scorer next season. Maybe that 10%.
Essentially, he's coming back for more chances and goals, isn't he?
Chanceless goals. We fucking killed it out there.
The playoff semi-final first leg. We fucking killed him minute 1.
We're gonna need some playoff experience as well. Remember that when Leicester that Troy Deeney goal?
Yeah. He was on the bench with Vardy.
Yeah, Knockaert took the pen off him. Imagine that.
Oh, was he on the pitch? I thought he was on the bench.
At the end, he was on the pitch. Yeah, I think he was a bench player.
Mate, imagine the ripple effect of imagine what world we'd be living in now if Kane took that penalty and scored it.
Yeah. Mad.
He might. Don't know what would happen, to be fair, but
maybe that was the time where he was like, that was the moment set in stone that he's never going to win a trophy.
Yeah, because that was
it.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, that was his last loan as well, wasn't it? That was it.
Yeah,
because he came back. He was at Tottenham the full next season, and the season after that was Mopo, and he absolutely started smacking the goals in the Europa League, didn't he? Well done, Tim Sherwood.
I don't know. With the Kane comeback, I just thought I'd put it in there. I'm trying to as many positive sort of news or thoughts, optimistic thoughts we could possibly have in this podcast before it gets really dark and depressing.
Yeah, you got to have something to look forward to.
Kane comeback, can you see him come back? If he comes back to the Prem and don't come back to us, I will actually stop watching football. I think
Man United, and that stinks of Man United spending 54 mil on him. 100%.
It does.
And then Spurs aren't going to
nothing changes for them.
Spurs aren't going to match it, are they?
But what if we're playing 4D chess with Bayern Munich, and we end up with Tel and Kane?
Tel's going to be saying to Kane, "No, the training ground's brilliant, mate.
Yeah.
You should come back."
Mate, Kane, I reckon Kane's really easily convinced.
They're like, all right then. Go on then. I think I don't know. Maybe just for maybe get him on loan for a season, like we did with Bale.
Yeah. What Bale back? I hope he goes fucking better than that. No, I'm talking season-wise. Bale back was unbelievable. That last 2 months or so was so good.
I reckon Bale could still do a job now.
I think so.
Did you see that? Did you see the Interstellar Gareth Bale comp that was going around the other day?
So good. Mate, that was so good.
How do you? Someone made a good point about this. Do you think that he? And again, we're just delaying the inevitable here of actually talking about proper problems.
It don't matter.
It don't really matter.
No,
do you think that Gareth Bale would be as good in the Premier League now as he was then, or do you think that the way that the modern game has kind of gone that he'd? Yeah, do you think?
Nah.
He had just game breaking quality, didn't he? I just think I think he'd almost be even better.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's so structured now, football, that no one would be able to contain him. Because I think
how do you stop him?
Yeah, what we're seeing now is players that run at defences and run through midfields are actually causing the most problems anyways because it's so sort of football's so based on patterns and structure now and repetition and someone like a Maverick to just drive through like he could and just whack it.
I think as well. You know in the second half of that last season under AVB before he left, you know how he became like a number 10. He didn't play out on the wing for us. He played behind Dempsey or Adebayor or whoever was playing up front. That would be his position now. He wouldn't be a winger now.
No.
He would be like a... he wouldn't really be what he was for Real Madrid or be what he was at Spurs before that. Him playing... imagine Tottenham, right? The Kulusevski role. Imagine Bale in that position in modern football. Obviously, that sounds amazing anyway because it's literally Gareth Bale at his peak in the Premier League before he left. But imagine, you know how, Villa used Rodgers or, Chelsea used Palmer? In that... Just that little half space in that, okay, you're going to pick the ball up and you're going to drive and you're going to create from the middle. He would be unstoppable.
Yeah, he would. He was unstoppable. That's the thing. I think it's his longevity in the Prem, and the lack of longevity, and him being shadowed by Ronaldo at Real Madrid, that people will say. I think he is pound for pound, not pound for pound, but ability player for player. I think he's better than Salah, better than Hazard, better than. I actually think I think he's one of the most disrespected players of all time. If you watch the compilations, you think, how many players could actually do that? Salah couldn't drive the ball through players from the halfway line and thundercunt it into the top corner. He couldn't do that. I know it's they're different, a little bit different, but I just don't think he's appreciated at all. He's the player that got me into football. He got me into football. I fucking love him.
Give me prime Bale over Salah any day.
Yeah.
I saw a tweet from Tobes, who's a Chelsea fan, he makes that content. He's a good guy. He was saying, he quoted the comp and was like, he is one of the few players that's come along in the Premier League era that I was just desperate to have out of the league because it's like if he stays at Tottenham, I don't know why that keeps happening by the way. He like stays at Tottenham or like goes to Man United, for example, because they were like in for him. If he went to Man United and he stayed in the league for like that length of time, it'd be like you know how like people were just glad to see the back of Suarez, not just because he was racist and he bit people, but because it was like he was just like he's a menace, like same as like Henry and like Ronaldo. It's like just glad to see the back of them out of the country.
Yeah,
not in a racist way.
Suarez was that though. Like
he was just a menace, wasn't he? Bale was the same.
There's players that just come in. They have like a blip of what their career was in the Prem. Yeah, unstoppable.
Suarez that last season before he left was outrageous.
Oh my god, he was insane.
That's like best individual season ever in the Prem. I think maybe that.
Is there any other players? So Bale, Suarez. Is there any other players that were like that they didn't stay long, but it was so special that everyone just hated playing against?
Probably Jedson Fernandez.
Oh, what player? It's better when against Norwich was fucking out of this world.
I remember being in the South Stand, like watching him walk up to it, and I was just like, "Don't look confident, does he? Doesn't want it."
I remember Cantwell running to the Norwich fans that game.
Yeah. He was doing kick-ups on the way to the spot. I was like,
oh yeah, fucking Cantwell. I'm so happy that he hasn't had a career after that moment. I think it's time to move on. It has
to. It's time to go, blood.
It's time to go. Let's talk about Tell. I want to get into Tell.
Talk to me.
Talk to me about Tell, boy.
Talk to Tell.
Because again, there's very few things that I will actually want to talk about, and I don't think, like, as a viewer, I've been consuming everything Spurs. I don't want to then go back there and it will be in doom and gloom.
Yeah, especially after like the last game was on Sunday and like
we've had a week on
from the Liverpool game. Yeah,
we've had a few days of just like respite and just let's just think little things from it. So Mattis Tell, I'm actually. Yeah, unbelievable. I'm really impressed with what I've seen from him from a mentality-wise perspective, because obviously he's alone, and he's 19 years old, and I feel like he's taken like a bit of a responsibility and a bit of like initiative that I didn't expect him to take at this point. Obviously going over to the fans at the end of the game. Did you see there was when he was like almost not having a go, but he was saying something to a fan? Did you see that video?
Yeah, I didn't really get it.
What was that about? I don't know what the context.
I had just assumed that he knew them. Like, I don't really.
Oh, maybe. But he went over and he hugged one of them, didn't he? Was that do something?
Maybe. It might have been like the impression that I got, it was either family or like friends or something like that.
Oh yeah. I don't know. I've just been really impressed with him so far. Like, I know it's hard to pick like positives, but the way he's carried himself, I don't see any doubt that he's not going to be an unbelievable footballer for us. Like, I don't. It's been 2 games, 1 start, scored a goal.
Yep.
I'm so excited. To see him. And actually, that leads me on to, and I don't want to single any players out, but because he's the captain, I want to like talk about Son.
Fucking Son.
Son, mate. Because that miss against Villa.
Or was like people on Twitter would say, number 7. Get number 7 out of my club.
Why is it always #7? I was like,
people are just like, get number 7 out of my club.
Do you think that's like when you #7, you get more? I don't know, mate. But
no, I think people just like, it's like. I think it started off with like Lee Gunner, with where he refused to call Havertz his name. He called him number 29.
Okay.
It started off. It's just like a Twitter brain rot fucking. Yeah. This week, I think I've decided that I like Twitter, but football discourse just shouldn't exist online.
It's been all the bot accounts this week.
Oh mate,
did you
see the Ben Bowman McDonald's Ange Postecoglou one? I was just like, that was funny. But the one about Johan Lang crying, I genuinely thought that was real. At first, that killed me. That was so funny. But like football, it's like the same stuff with like like with like Bellingham after the game the other night, and like yesterday with the Merseyside derby, people saying that Everton shouldn't be celebrating it that much and all this kind of stuff. Like, fucking go outside your bedroom. And it's kind of part of that just like brain rot shit. Oh, okay. That's where the number 7 thing kind of lives on that side of it. But like, Son was terrible. Like, he was.
Do you think it's time to go?
I wouldn't be against it, I'll be honest.
Really? Saudi come in with a 50 mil bid in the summer.
I wouldn't really care. I wouldn't really care like either way. Like, if he stays and as long as we sign a winger and he like plays like a bit part role next season, I'm not that against it, but I think he's just. I genuinely think he's over the hill. I think he is. Like,
he shouldn't be starting next year, should he?
No. Definitely not. Definitely not.
I don't want to say it. But
I'll say it. I love Sonny. You can say that I love Son, and he's an absolute legend. But when your time comes, it comes.
Do you think there's an element of us like trying to not gaslight, because it's not. He's been an incredible player for us, but
he's been amazing,
there's a desperation for us that he wins a trophy and he has that
Yes,
success.
yeah.
Because what is his legacy going to be if he leaves the club after 10 years, after not winning anything with us, nothing to really show for it apart from like individual accolades. Like, when in 50 years when we talk about Son, we're probably not going to talk about him in the same light as Harry Kane.
No, probably not. No,
He's going to be what caliber of player?
Oh, he's going to be an absolute great for us, but it's like you can't. Then it's like, you look at, I don't know, players like Glenn Hoddle and players like that who were like genuine greats to the football club that might not have actually contributed as much as Sonny in terms of the goals and stuff like that, but they've got silverware to show for it. Sonny and Kane never had that. Yeah. But Harry Kane is our all-time top goal scorer, and is, I think, also where he's an academy player. But Sonny is a legend at his football club.
Yeah, he is. Yeah, of course.
And I think you're right. I think we all almost kind of like, where last season where Kane left and Sonny was here and he got made the captain, and it was like, and he actually had a good season in terms of the numbers. And again, like this season, his output's not been that bad. It's just some of the performances I'm watching, I'm just thinking, oh Christ!
Do you think this might be a system thing, though?
Is it a system thing?
Is it a system thing?
Is it an underbelly system thing? Could be an underbelly system thing. We've said that for ages, though. Like, I think this is also where I think Tell might struggle a little bit on the left. And I'd like to see him play up front. Actually, I'd like to see him play on the right. I've said that before as well. I think you need to get him in. I think when a doggy comes back and you get a little bit more natural width on that left-hand side, and we should talk about that as well, because he's back for the weekend, and whether Spence should be dropped and all this kind of stuff. But I think once you... Actually, just on that quickly, I think with the way that we play, I love Spence, and Spence has been brilliant, but we need a doggy on that side. I genuinely think, I think we do. Just in terms of the balance, like as much as anything. Spence can go and play on the other side. I would rather take Porro out and play Spence and then move a doggy. People have forgotten how good... Like, because a doggy came into this season off the back of the surgery and then struggled to kind of get up to the pace and then got injured. Like, I think people forget, like, he's good. Like... He is good, and Spence has been really good, but it's also a bit shiny new toy syndrome. That's not to take anything away from Spence, because he's been really good. But yeah, I would prefer to see a
doggy and Spence.
Yeah,
Porro out. Yeah,
because I think then
he needs a rest as well. Porro, mate, he's fucking
He's played more minutes than anybody in Europe, hasn't he? That's crazy.
Ridiculous.
Like in Europe's top 5 leagues. I think he. I think also, like with the system thing. I remember watching someone put up the highlights of when we beat Brentford earlier on this season, right? And I was like, that was one of our best performances under Ange. Yeah. And I think what we saw was, I'm gonna get it up now.
It was a doggy, a little overlap, wasn't it?
Yeah, Sonny coming inside a lot of the time. Like, it was just a really balanced, fluent performance from Spurs, where we were just kind of like at our best. Why can't I just see all the fixtures? That's what I want to see.
I do think, and I don't want to like get. I mean, we can talk about Ange like in a minute, or later, but. Son's one of those things where it's like, and I know again we've had so many injuries, but I still think despite even if we had a fully fit squad, Son would still be playing as many games as he possibly can because he's Son. But I do feel like it's one of those things where it's like, if you look at the personnel, there needs to be more emphasis on getting him inside, not a striker, not a touchline winger, but an inside forward sort of thing. And and again with like maybe a doggy like we did against Brentford where we played well. I think you're about to say that.
I've got it up on the screen now.
Yeah,
but look at Doggy. He's going round side. He's going round side of it.
Yeah, for the visuals, the heat maps. He's been overlapping. He was overlapping heavily against Brentford.
And Sonny was like Sonny. I mean, Sonny's not exactly. Playing as that second striker, but you can see like Solanke dropping deeper, Sonny running beyond him. In this game, like Sonny wasn't amazing, but this little triangle was just gorgeous.
Yeah, it had a balance to it.
It was really good.
In each other's channels.
No, and Sonny was picking like you can kind of see it from the average positions, but he was kind of like he was receiving here, and a doggy was still allowed to like go inside, but Sonny was picking it up and driving in. Like he was kind of You can see that little looks like a bit like a cock. Actually, it looks like a gun, doesn't it? Really, like that. That's the handle.
Looks
of
a
the
bit
gun.
like a limp cock.
Yeah,
Yeah, like that's the ball bag there where a doggy's overlapping. Or is that Son?
That's still Son.
Oh,
so
that's
this
still
is a doggy.
Oh, a doggy. Jesus.
And then you can see Son's like picking it up out here, but he's coming inside.
Yeah.
But everybody, like, there's just a balance. Look at that little build there with like that kind of build up with Benton, Corporo, Romero, Van der Ven, and then just Maddison in this pocket was just fantastic. And then you've got these two just dovetailing with each other really nicely. Like, I think
what you got is Maddison in that pocket, in Son's pocket there. Son's receiving, and then you got a doggy coming inside. Is that what you said?
No, a doggy going round the outside. Oh, right. A doggy coming inside. Coming inside where? But I think we need the same with Tell as well, because I think it's clear that he's more of like an inside forward rather than an out-and-out winger. I think he can play as a touchline winger, but I don't think you're going to necessarily get the best out of him.
Yeah. Same with Tell. Yeah, did you say that about Tell?
Yeah.
Sorry. Yeah, that's the thing, though. That he's not a touchline winger either. I feel like there needs to be some sort of tweak.
I would like to see, this is what I mean. That's why I'm kind of referencing this game, because I think a Maddison Tell, a doggy left-hand side, like that, I think could be nice. I think that could be nice. And then, because then Tell and Solanke can kind of rotate as almost like two number 9s as well.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, I think something needs to happen, because I'm worried that Son's getting the brunt of like the abuse, or not the abuse, but like the blame. Yeah. And because he's a senior player, he's our captain, and we expect more from him. And I get he will be coming to the end, because that's where his career is, and he's been so relied upon for year upon year, season upon season.
Yeah.
But I am worried that the system is sort of contributing to that, and contributing to the lack of confidence, because it's not suited to his way of playing. And if we did maybe see him drive inside a little bit more and be more of an inside forward with like a traditional overlapping fullback, we would see this.
I don't know what happened again. I'm literally just sitting here.
We would see like the best out. I feel like we'd get the best out of. I don't know. We'd get more out of him. Let's say.
Yeah, I agree.
And
with
a
that.
future lies within him if he's deployed as that profile instead of a touchline winger. Because I feel like we're seeing the rotting of a legend, and it's getting more and more frustrating. Do we blame him? Do we blame Ange for that use of him, or do we just? I don't know. Like who's at fault? But what you said about Maddison, I think that's a nice little segue into talking about Roy Keane's comments, because I feel like Maddison, we're going to get into the players coming back, the injured players coming back, because we've got a massive boost on Man United. So the players coming back are Doggy, Odebear, Maddison, Vicario.
Yeah.
Is there anyone else? Johnson.
Odebear apparently as well.
Onsen?
Nonsen. Glennon Bonson. Nonsen.
Odebear, Johnson, yeah. So we're going to have all these players coming back. And that's another thing to be positive about. Like, that's something, we've ridden a really tough wave. And again, we probably will have a lot more injuries to come, But we're talking, like, for the now, to have these players come back, it could be massive for us. And again, we've talked about this sort of like Sky Sports narrative. We talked about Carragher. When I was watching the overlap this morning, mate, I was so annoyed.
Mate, it was
to see,
this whole segment was fucking bollocks.
Like Spurs get brought up again, and it's like, you know the Simpson meme where it's like, stop, he's already dead.
Yeah.
And they're like beating the shit out of some kid.
Yeah.
That's us at the moment. Like, we're so down. And who would have thought Ian Wright? And I know he's a very good pundit and very sort of
just
like neutral.
Impartial. He's good at taking the bias out.
Yeah. I mean, he's obviously biased, but like when he talks about Spurs, it's you probably wouldn't even know he's an Arsenal. He was an ex-Arsenal legend. Yeah. So like, but he's the only one sort of looking at it in more of like with more context around it, and they're proper just going in on us. And then I don't understand why Keane felt the need to go after Maddison.
He's just hammered him, isn't he?
In isolation.
He's just hammered him. It's just, I found it very bizarre. Like, to kind of to downplay the impact that he might have when, as bad as we've been defensively over the last few weeks, like the lack of creativity, we just look so devoid of any sort of ideas. And hopefully it has the complete opposite effect, and Maddison goes on and just proves. Well, not the opposite effect. I'm sure that Roy Keane is a Spurs fan, but they're playing Man United. He probably does want United to win, let's be honest. Hopefully it has the effect of Maddison sees that, comes back, and then just give it a little fucking shush down the camera.
That would
Because
be sick.
I think it's very unfair to just single out Maddison in this, because Maddison's reputation has massively got the better of him here. And don't get me wrong, I've criticised Maddison at points for being on the periphery of games and, you know, not really impacting it as much as he should be. And, you know, there's this whole thing about when he went down with Leicester, but you're telling me that we're not missing him right now. I think he's got 8 goals and 4 assists in the Premier League, which is up there with some of the best playmakers in the league. Like, his output is really good. In 22 games he's played, we massively miss him. We miss him so much. And then the lazy thing at the end where he was just like, if you think that Maddison is going to come back and fire Spurs to the top 6, you're in cuckoo land. It was like the other Simpsons meme where it's like, say the line, Bart. It was like that. He's like, he couldn't wait to say his own fucking catchphrase. It's like he's become a stupid caricature of himself. And it was like, I think that's why the way that Sky
Punches players who would have an impact.
kind of going. Like, also, what the fuck is he wearing? Is he in, like, This Is England or something?
That's...
Wearing that Harrington jacket. Fuck me. Christ. Sorry, not Jill Scott. There, pause it there. Stop it there. I just think it was really, really just lazy. It just felt so lazy. I felt like just banging my head against the wall the whole kind of segment when they were talking about Tottenham, and I felt like that about Sky for a while, to be honest. It's just like, I mean, with the Carragher stuff over recent weeks with Brentford and the Liverpool Cup game, and I get it, but then it's throwing in stuff about like the darts and saying like when he's not at the darts and all this, it was like, shut up. If that wasn't James Maddison, it wouldn't be a story.
Yeah,
it's just
You've
that people
said this for a while as well. It's just his personality.
Yeah, he's had a good season. He's probably been our second best player this season.
Yeah,
maybe other than I'd probably say Archie Gray, to be honest. But like Maddison, like for the amount of games that he's played in the context, but like he's been really super impactful. How many games? Like you think about that Brentford game that we won earlier on in the season. That was arguably, I think, our best ever performance under Ange. Genuinely, I think it was. He was our best player in that game.
Yeah,
he had a really good start to the season. It's just I don't know. I think there's so many people are just very lazy when it comes to talking about James Maddison, and I just think that people have got their preconceptions of him and they've kind of made up their mind. It's just a bit bollocks.
He's an easy target. Like, there's so many things that I mean, he obviously used Maddison to like reinforce his point, because the whole thing with like the injuries coming back, it means nothing for Spurs and with Ange and stuff like that. But obviously Van der Ven, Romero, we're going to get into them. But these players, we're missing a lot of players. When they come back, they're going to be important for us to have that reinforcement. We do miss things when they're not playing, and I was just like frustrated because it's just he's such an easy target, Maddison, because he is always in the public eye, public view, and the way he carries himself on the pitch, and he frustrates me because we all know the quality he has. I think he is. I don't think he has the impact on games. I mean, this season he's had a lot of goal contributions, but they're important games where he's gone hiding or he's been really good in certain games and not as influential. It does get frustrating, but there's no justification for just going after him personally.
It's so weird.
As if he's like a problem. I don't think he is a problem at all. And I don't know. But my worry was that knowing Maddison is maybe he'd come out on social media and try and back himself on social media, which I don't want happening. I think there's too much noise going on. Don't add to it. Don't add to that sort of chaos. And just do your thing on a pitch. When you come back against Man United, treat this as a big game to sort of state your mark on a pitch. Because there's no. Your thing is, if you're like Maddison, you can't come back at Roy Keane. Like you can't. What can you come back at? So just show it on the pitch. Man United is a perfect game because obviously the connection with Roy Keane to sort of make your mark and prevail. Mate, how good is it? I'm most excited for Odebear. I'm so excited just to see him back and have a different profile on the wing, and someone that can. I've tweeted it that this Odebear-Tell relationship better come through on the pitch, and I think it might. Especially with Solanke out at the moment. Tell up front, Odebear coming on for like a bit of a spark off the wing, and I know we can't expect too much. It's going to be. I actually kind of want it to be like an eased-in process of him coming back into the fold. Obviously, with 2 back-to-back like hamstring injuries. Is it hamstring injuries?
Yeah,
and
I think so.
But I'm so excited because he was an exciting prospect signing that we didn't see much of. But when we did see him, what we did see of him was really promising.
Yeah, I'm
buzzing for him to come back, and I feel like he's going to be one of the most important like facets we have to come back into the fold. Like obviously a doggy, Van der Ven, Romero, Solanke, Maddison, they're integral. Yeah, that's like we just named our spine. We just named our whole spine.
This is it. And like you chuck Kulusevski into that spine as well. But did you see that stat yesterday about Kulusevski where he's basically like one half of football off of playing an entire league season already this year? this season.
Insane.
It's nuts. It's absolutely nuts. He's
Like
been running to
15
the
games
ground
left.
massively. Yeah,
More than if we stay in Europa.
exactly. He's already basically played a full season in February. It's crazy.
Yeah, that's worrying.
Um, and yeah, he's a shadow of himself at the moment. You can tell that. You can tell he's tired because he's more interested in trying to smash into people to get past them rather than try and beat them kind of with his guile because he's got nothing in the tank. I just don't think he's got anything really left to offer. And it's like, so basically you're taking the entire spine out of the team plus a player that is playing that is just on their last legs.
Yeah.
He's the next one. If Spurs get another big injury, it's him, isn't it? But hopefully Maddison coming back can kind of soften the blow and can kind of rejig things in those forward areas. But obviously, I'm not denying that it would be a huge miss if he went out.
I'm getting to the point where it's like all I care about is Europa League. As long as we don't get relegated, I don't care about the Prem.
Yeah,
so like,
just a chance to build a bit of confidence.
Yeah, build a bit of confidence and rest players. These players coming back is a lifeline for the players that have given their all. It's like they're on the front line and in a battle, and it's like, right, now let's have these.
The backups just turned up.
Back up the reinforcement. Now let's you can sit back and just take a
go and have
breather.
a cup of tea. Yeah, go and have a cup of tea.
Son. I don't know. It's integral to sort of pace yourselves in getting the replacements. Go get a cup of tea, but like they need to sort of they can't come back and get injured straight away. They can't just be thrown back in. But slowly, gradually, start just churning these players that are playing now consistently out. Just get a breather, just for the good of your own health.
Well, it's also good that we haven't got any like really midweek football in the next few weeks. Other than the Man City game, but we've got a decent break in between that and the Bournemouth game after that. So. Yeah. It's been nice this week just to have a kind of like break, and obviously they gave the players 2 days off, I think, didn't they, on Monday and Tuesday? Yeah. After the Villa game.
Yeah, we had a question from Jack in a cat. He says,
"Oh bloody hell, Jack, mate! You're fucking any more questions, mate?"
Yeah, mate, he's so good at them. That's the thing. How much of an improvement can we reasonably expect to see over the next few weeks with 2 free midweeks? And hopefully a significant number of key players coming back from injury. And that's what you're saying there. Like, this is going to be so refreshing for these players. They're so flat on their feet, and that sort of feeds in. We'll feed that into the Ange quotes. What Ange was saying was just spot on because they are human beings, and we rely on them so heavily. But what they're doing right now is not normal. And it's not natural, especially the intensity we show. And you've seen, like, if the players haven't got anything in the tank, if you haven't got the depth, you can't do this Ange way of playing. You get played through because that intensity of the press isn't there. So it's so easy.
That's literally what happened for the goal against Villa.
So easy. There's so much space. It's so easy to bypass our press. It's disorientated. Players are just slower to get to that point. And this was going to happen. So like. These players coming through, it is a lifeline. I felt so bad for Postecoglou. I was furious. Don't get me wrong. I'm absolutely furious.
It was a terrible
furious for the way we wimped out of the way of Liverpool. I know Liverpool are the best team in the world, arguably, but it was just there was no fight. But then again, how much fight could they actually give? And then I was furious with the Villa game, just absolutely numb afterwards because I was like, well, there's 2 lifelines gone. We got one more life left, and that's Europa League.
Yeah.
But then I'm thinking. Like we've got these reinforcements now. This is massive, but it's massive for Ange as well because, and I know, and again, it shouldn't be an expectation. It would be worrying if they came back with the same intensity because then their hamstrings are all going to start popping again. We're going to have the same problem. But slowly, we should start seeing an improvement. And if we don't, then I think it's fair with these players come back to start to be a bit more heavily critical of Ange going forward.
Yeah.
Because we know he needs these players. You saw him. He was down and out in the press conference. These players are coming back. And it's like I feel like we've held off. We haven't. We've been very critical, but we've tried to hold off as much judgment as possible because of these absences.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, I'm actually kind of excited just to see if there's any like positive improvements. And also to see Ange with a little bit more like at his disposal.
Yeah.
See if he can do it. And if he can't, I feel like we're already at the point where at the moment, he's probably going to get sacked at the end of the season.
Yeah.
So we got nothing to lose, really. I feel like I'm in that sort of headspace where it's like, bring it on. Man United of the weekend, let's just see how he copes. Let's see what these players can add if they do.
I'm with you on that. I'm with you on that. It's kind of just been nice to have a bit of respite from it already, to be honest, isn't it?
Yeah.
Like, it would have been amazing if we were able to win one of those games and get through to the final war. And it was the performances were just really poor. And I think, I think the fatigue limits so much in terms of how Spurs are able to execute the game plan that Postecoglou wants. But then again, that's also down to the manager to make tweaks to allow us to be not so easy to play against.
Yeah.
You know, because when it's a bit like City, right? When City are on it, they're the best team in the world. They are. Spurs can be one of the best teams in the Premier League when everything goes right. Like we've seen that in games. Like Spurs can be really hard to play against and so good to watch. But if you're 10% off in this league, you can get punished. Let alone what are Spurs at right now? Like if you're picturing Spurs as a battery, like what's the charge? I don't know, 20%.
Now we're at the point where you ever play Xbox and
we're on low power mode.
Yeah. But have you ever played Xbox where you just like you can't bother to go down and get new batteries or something, and you just keep like holding the X button or the button or I don't know if you play PlayStation, and it just keeps dying, and then you keep having to restart. That's the phase we're at.
Yeah, I'm sat on the sofa. The charge is over there. It doesn't stretch long enough, so I'm just like, I just keep pressing the PS button. Yeah, I've done.
I feel like it's a pretty good example of where we are, and I don't know. It's and we're seeing reports. I think a lot of the reports don't help either. It's like we're seeing a lot of reports of like the short list of managers now that we're going to be looking at. And it's like
and also the injury stuff, like some of the stuff's been said about Van de Ven and Romero and this kind of stuff.
Well, let's get into that, mate. What is there a conspiracy around this Van de Ven Romero stuff?
I don't know.
Injuries.
I don't really care.
What is going on here?
What is going on here?
What is going on here?
I'm so done with it, to be honest. I've kind of just forgotten that they are Spurs players and just pretend like they're not, and when they come back I'm going to be... Don't get me wrong, I'm desperate for them to come back. I absolutely am desperate, but I don't know what's going... Clearly something is going on, but I don't know what. Whether they've just completely fucked it up with Van de Ven, and maybe... I don't like Ange getting the blame for rushing him back against Elfsborg. I'm not on board with that, because he clearly was ready to make... And there's clearly a plan in place. It's going to play 45 minutes. It's going to come off. After the game, he was like, fine. And then over the weekend in training, he was like, what if you believe what Paul O'Keefe was saying? He was like, I don't feel right. And unfortunately, I just think we're going to probably have to accept that Van de Ven is going to have these chronic issues throughout his time at Spurs. I think Van de Ven, unless he moves to a club that doesn't play as intense football, which, like, why would you buy Van de Ven unless you were going to try and... It's a real weird one with him. Why would you buy Van de Ven unless you weren't going to try and play that kind of football? Because I love him. I think he's brilliant. But he's not the best defender in the world. You're buying him purely so you can be aggressive and play high at the pitch and use his recovery pace and use his ability to go past players. You're not buying him if you're Nottingham Forest who are going to sit in a... You know what I mean? Like, in theory, that kind of style of play. So he could find himself in a really weird position in his career where it's like he's a really good player that is really well suited to playing a certain brand of football, that is chronically injured and he can't play that style of football for more than 3 or 4 games in a row until his hamstring goes. I think he's going to need surgery in the summer. I think those ITK reports about him needing an operation, I'm not sure they were true, but I think in the summer we could be at a thing where it's like he'll play like maybe a handful of times before the end of the season, and then it'll get to like April and they'll just go, you know what, let's just deal with this now, or maybe right at the end of the season, who knows? Because it might get to a point before that where he just gets to the point of no return. It's like, I can't keep doing this, and then just before the end of the season, they'll be like, we're going to have to just operate, and then he'll have hamstring surgery and then try and come back. I don't know. Who honestly fucking knows, mate?
I'm kind of like in acceptance of that, because I mean, what we've heard and what is true is like this. We've got such a unicorn at our like in our armory, and he's such an incredible player. I'm going to be absolutely gutted if he is injury prone throughout his Spurs career, and he's a bit like Ledley King, where he can't even like train. He just comes in now and again, and he's unbelievable. But then we don't see much of him. I think I've come to the acceptance that just don't play him again this season. Like, we're gonna need him. Of course, we're gonna need him. He's so imperative to our system. But for his sake, for the longevity of him and this process, like not process, but this project we've got going, we need him. He's so good, and he's young, and what I'm really, really fucking terrified of, is we sell Romero in the summer, and we sell and Van der Ven just keeps getting injuries, and we can't kick on because the club's like mentality is we've got 2 brilliant centre backs, so we're not going to sign another centre back to rival them. We're going to just sign backups, and then the backups are our main centre backs because you don't
the
see the
backups
other
need
players.
to be of equal quality.
Yeah, that's why I think like if we actually had a bit of strong mentality and a bit of bravery, we would get Mark Gay in, and he'd play alongside Romero or alongside Van der Ven, and you could let Romero and Van der Ven breathe a little bit, but he's consistently in the team where it doesn't disrupt the core and the spine of the team. But where we've heard a lot, and it's kind of true, of Postecoglou doesn't outlast this project. This project is bigger than Postecoglou. He's the guard of the manager of the project right now. If we want this project to be successful in the long run, and we know, and we're always suspicious, or we're sort of aware that Postecoglou at the moment is probably going to get sacked at the end of the summer. I'm numb enough now to feel don't play Van der Ven again for Postecoglou. If we're going to play a different way, let's reserve his hamstrings. Let's play.
But then you can't do that, can you?
No, of course you can't. Of course you can't. But I'm just saying, like, it just ease his way in. Maybe give him surgery. Just do whatever you can for the player's career, because if you want to have his career at Spurs, he needs to keep fit. Because it's not sustainable. But I just don't think it's ever gonna. He's always gonna be injured in the system we play under Postecoglou, and that's not even me like conspiracy injuries for Postecoglou. This is just it's common sense with the way he's deployed in the system.
Yeah.
His hamstrings are gonna be popping every 5 minutes, so it's like this is it for the long run. Even if Postecoglou is the manager for Van der Ven's time here, he's going to be injured all the time through this Postecoglou sort of era.
Yeah.
I just feel a bit like I want to get into a different sport.
Same.
Yeah.
Same, to be honest. Cricket season starting again soon.
Cricket season, yeah.
Darts is on tonight. The Premier League darts is on tonight in Glasgow night 2. I'll be watching. I'm going to the pub actually later, so probably watch a bit.
I'm envious of you, mate, because you got darts, you got cricket. What have I got? I haven't got anything. I haven't ventured out. UFC. I like UFC.
UFC.
I do like UFC.
Shall I play some darts live on the pod now?
Mate.
Shall I play some darts live on the pod now?
Yeah. Just give us a little distraction. I'll be the commentator. Come on, just give me something. Just give me something to just get my dopamine up a little bit. But in the meantime, I'll set it up. It's fucking hell, mate. Did you plan to do this?
No, it's always there.
Oh, I was gonna say. Just convenient. How convenient. You had this like set up right next to you. All right, are you off screen? Are you going to be throwing them in?
I'm going to be throwing them in, mate.
Wait, Ben, you're supposed to hit the dartboard.
Is that going to stay there? Oh, God.
Looks good.
The viewers are getting some experience. This is what Tottenham have done to us.
Yeah. I think give the viewers a little break. A little break from Spurs.
Hopefully that stays there.
Go. For audios, just get on YouTube. Watch this segment. It's minute. What minute is it? Like 42.
Yeah, if you want to see me playing darts.
Yeah. All right. Ready? I'll commentate. I'll do the maths. I'll do the maths.
Tell me a number to hit. Let me take my headphones out.
Okay. What, an add up number or an actual number?
What do you want me to hit?
3 nines.
3 nines?
I don't watch darts. Don't know what that means.
Okay.
3 nines. Double 9. Oh, I just missed. Ooh.
That wasn't even in 9.
Okay. Go again.
It was that.
14.
That was.
9. Is that 9?
Oh no, 2 of them are in 14.
Decent.
Nice.
One more try. 20. Who's number 20 for Spurs?
Oh, 2 in tops.
Nice.
Right, one more.
One more. What? Tell us what you're gonna hit before you throw it. Like give us a little.
40.
40. Ben, tell us like one. Just have one more go. Tell us what you're gonna hit and see if you can do it.
I'm gonna go for. I'm gonna go for 3 19s.
Yeah. Okay. Oh man, that was unlucky,
One in
mate.
double 19, one
Yeah.
missed the ball and then hit 7.
That was unlucky, mate. See that little escapism. Maybe you convinced me. Maybe I do need to get into darts because you got cricket and darts. Like, the thing about UFC is like I love it, but it's on so late. I got work, mate. Like Sunday morning. There's not. It's not like a daytime thing of where I can just sit down and watch. And also watching UFC live is way more sort of like tantalising than watching the highlights when you know.
When you know it's already happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know, because I know there's already an outcome. Everyone knows what's happening. I'm not caught up in the sort of like adrenaline of it. But Spurs just make me want to just give up just watching football, to be honest.
Yeah.
That's why. Sorry, this has been a bit catharsis, yeah, and I hope you enjoyed. If you're listening, that's why I'm talking about Harry Kane comeback 2026.
Late night. It's like, you know, the like late night finds trend on TikTok. We're just like,
yeah,
this is what I'm up thinking about.
Yeah. Like, why don't we just have a little like, let's fuck everything off. Why don't we just name old Spurs players that we just miss for about 5 minutes?
Aaron Lennon.
Yeah.
We should probably talk about the protest that's happening on Sunday as well.
Oh yeah.
Because that is gaining a lot of traction, it feels like, which is really positive.
Yeah. Okay, oh, fuck, sorry. I didn't write this down. Okay, scrap all that. There is some important things to talk about, yeah. Aaron Lennon, what a player.
Yeah.
But...
Save it.
Save that. We'll save that. Mate, the Qatari investment stuff, I'm not believing this one bit.
That's bollocks, man.
I'm not believing this one bit because it's so anonymous as well. It's like they're private investors, aren't they? They're anonymous at the moment. We don't know who they are. That is the easiest bit of journalism ever for it to be bollocks, because no one can trace back to who actually is the private unknown investors that are possibly invested in Spurs, because they're a fugazi, mate. They don't fucking exist. Of course you can say that could be anyone. They're not like, if there is a brief from Spurs that say this is happening, they've offered Levy the chance, but this could be like exciting, they're going to invest in Spurs, etc. They're not tying any businesses towards this rumour or this report. They're
it's like
anonymous
Qatari
people.
investment for they don't know.
That could be anyone. So it's fucking bollocks. It's so clearly bollocks. And if it isn't, unbelievable. But I'm not believing it until anything concrete actually happens. But
Well,
it's
also,
the
they
timings.
They would offer Lee. Did you see the stuff about offering Levy?
Yeah. Would you take that? No. It's like Ineos and the Glazers, mate. It'll be the same thing.
Yeah, because you can't guarantee how. Like, in an ideal world, it's not the worst thing, because it's like Levy's decision making. Like his the growth of Tottenham as a business has been, like, if you're looking at it purely from that point of view, it's obviously been very good under Levy.
Yeah.
And his decision making when it comes to that. But then I would not trust him whatsoever to not stay out of the footballing thing. Like, I think it'd just be, I don't think it would be.
He'd just get his grubby little hands on everything, wouldn't he? Levy.
Yeah, fucking.
He's so annoying.
Yeah.
Anyway, the protest stuff. Do you want to tell everyone about that? If you don't know already.
Yeah, Change for Tottenham have been doing a lot of really good work trying to. They've organised a protest for Sunday. There's a sit-in protest after the game, and there's a protest outside of the club shop, I believe. I mean, actually, it'd be much easier if I just got the details up, so I just don't get this wrong.
Let's do it.
But it's gaining a lot of traction. Like, there's been a lot of articles about it. I saw HLTCA made a YouTube video talking about it, why it deserves kind of like more airtime, why it's not necessarily.
That was brilliant.
Yeah,
that
really good video.
Good.
Dan's great. He just gets it, doesn't he? So these are the details. So there was a march to the stadium commencing at 3:00. So on the high road. So it's going to be outside the marching from there to outside the West Stand, and then there's a stadium protest as well. In the game, in the South Stand, I believe, after the game, kind of like a sit-in protest.
What is that? What
when they say I don't think it's going to mean like we're going to sit on the floor until you kick us out, but just like a protest inside the ground, making themselves heard, which is obviously really positive. So if you obviously want to get involved, those are Change for Tottenham work really, really hard on this, really hard, and they're doing a lot of work to kind of like drum up as much noise. And you know, our podcast isn't as big as the Last Word on Spurs, but I believe they're going on there tonight to talk about it as well. I think Flav's had him on the lab as well. I think Jay, I believe the guy that's like behind this, there's some good people behind it as well. So yeah, it feels like it's getting a lot of noise. So which is really good. Let's see what happens. I think I'll probably. I haven't. I probably will go to the protest before the game. It's a difficult one because I don't want to like. I've been vocal about wanting Levy out, so I can't just not show my support. But as long as people amplify it as much as they can on social media and stuff like that before, so they can kind of get it heard and out there as much as possible, because there's been a lot of good work that's been put into it. So yeah, before the game, and then I think as well, like throughout the game, chanting, but obviously getting behind the team as well.
I think you should tie yourself to the goalpost.
Should I do a Just Stop Oil and just like that geezer?
You'll be tied to the crossbar, mate. You're so tall.
Yeah, that was the forget last night. That was the best thing that's ever happened at Goodison Park when that geezer tied himself. That was so funny, man. Oh my god.
This is amazing though, and I think we're so fucking like we've had this whole pod. Hopefully, it's been a bit like catharsis.
Yeah, hopefully you enjoyed the darts.
Too sort of serious. Yeah, like we love this community so much, and it is such a hard time. So like we don't want it to be sort of conventional pod. We want there to be a bit of freedom, and we want there to be like a bit of sort of just a bit of distraction, really. We're talking about Spurs, but it's so doom and gloomy at the moment. We've got very few things to sort of look to at the moment. So we want to try and keep that positive here.
Yeah.
But we're so clearly deflated, and I think everyone are. And I don't think we're ever going to stop. We're never going to break out the cycle we're feeling right now unless there's change. The only option is sort of clearly indicating that change needs to be had.
Yeah.
Because, and I've said this, like, obviously 4 years old when we won a trophy, the last trophy we won, I was playing with toys and shit and putting Lego up my bum. Like, I don't remember, and like crayons up my nose and that, still in my brain now. I don't remember us winning the trophy. I've given my life to Spurs and got nothing back. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm sick and tired of it, season after season, just feeling pain. Like, this is an escapism. This is our life, and we don't get anything back. All we are is treated as just customers. For what? What do we even get apart from like tiny little hits of dopamine when we beat Brentford? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's been, and even that we I know. Yeah, we beat Brentford twice. Yes, fucking did the double over Brentford, didn't we? This season. Let's go. That's it. But.
Spurs got me feeling like Montoya of Temptation Island.
Pete, I want to watch that so bad. Where can
Same.
you watch that?
Maybe we do Darren and doing live watch along for Temptation Island.
Mate, bring the pillows, because what I've seen is fucking mental.
Crazy.
Did you see that underwater thing?
Underwater blowjob is nuts.
I stood up and clapped when I saw that.
Yeah.
I dropped my phone.
How is she breathing?
How is that possible?
I don't know.
Actually, how is it possible? How can you even open your mouth underwater?
Yeah. I'm gonna have a bath after this.
Julie's gonna go upstairs and be like, "Why have you got your head in the sink?" I'm like trying to see if I can
just practice it.
So there needs to be change. Basically, needs to be like so. This is it. This is the moment where we can gain momentum, and that's the thing. I'm really proud. I think of this, because we had a quite positive ending to the window in signing Tell, Danso. There was a little bit of a buzz back at Spurs, and that doesn't mean that the Levy out chants stop. Because that's what's been happening. Like we'll chant Levy out a few times. He'll sign a player or something. Something will happen, and it starts to go a bit stale. This needs to just be the beginning. We need to just keep going. And again, I'm saying that from like my bedroom, and like I'm not going to be at the game over the weekend. I'm not going to be at the protest. So it's easy for me to say.
If you're not going to the game, you're not going to the game, are you?
Yeah,
so
but it is so important. Like these things, it's incredibly important that we just keep this momentum up. So and hopefully it ends with maybe just even just a change of behaviour, the way we're running the club. Maybe the change of focus becomes more on our football club. That's the least that can happen. But hopefully change of ownership is the outcome. But who knows? We don't know until we try and push the button. So
exactly.
Yeah, everyone, legends. Honestly, thanks so much. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to comment. Get in the comments. Use the comments as like ways you can cathartic and and just like vent. Obviously, it's a really fucking shit time at the moment. We got Man United. We probably should have previewed that.
We'll beat him.
We'll beat him. Yeah. Good
Yeah,
preview.
we'll
Good
beat him.
preview. Madison's going to score. Good shot.
Tell going to give it to big
Tell boy.
ones to
Oh
the
my
United
God,
fans.
if Tell scores against Man United.
I need to see Mark Goldbridge's reaction.
Oh,
I might,
100%.
I might not go to the game just so I can watch Mark Goldbridge's watch along.
Yeah, just outside watching.
Just in case that happens. Yeah, exactly.
Do you know what though?
I'm just sat there in my seat just like this.
I actually think it's I actually think it's important that Tell plays Man United just to see
How shit they are?
fucking shit they actually are.
Yeah.
So then he can be like, "Oh my God, what am I talking about? Why would
Yeah,
I
I don't
want
wanna
to?
go
Why
there."
would I want this? No, even if those rumours aren't true, like just
I
have a
think
little.
it's bollocks. I do think it is bollocks.
I think so. I think so. Just have a little view of what Man United's defence is like, yeah? And then you'll be like, "Oh my God, why I'm choosing Spurs all the way." I think this is the make or break. He's going to sign for us straight after this game. He'll score a hat-trick and he'll put pen to paper and be like, "Look, I'm committing my life."
Seb literally said on our podcast earlier, he was like, Tell's going to score and Daniel Levy is going to abseil down from the cockerel with the contract and he's going to sign it there and then.
Down the
In front of
country,
the-
big
In
boy.
front of the United fans.
That would be so good. All right, everyone, thank you so much. Thanks for listening. Up Spurs.
If you want us to start a darts team, let us know.
Well, I'll just be the spectator because I'm fucking shit. I've
Yeah,
never
oh
played
well.
darts before in my life.
See you later, people.
Cheers, everyone.